It's Norway's energy capital. It's quite an ever-evolving city, so I'll kind of talk about that in a moment. We're arriving at 10 a.m, okay, so you don't have to get up too early, you can relax in the morning. And a wonderful day in Stavanger, once again a really brilliant port, and well located near the end of your cruise as well, because it's such a great mixture of natural beauty and history of Norway itself in the city. So it's located on the Stavanger Peninsula, which is in southwest Norway. It counts its official founding year as 1125, which is also the year the cathedral was completed here. And it's nearly 900 years old, one of the oldest cities in Norway. So a little map here. The docking name is Strandkaien. We're docked, I've circled it at the moment at number 1. Okay, you can see the tourist information logo right next to the red circle. So there is tourist information available right on the pier, which is perfect. Right next to it, the whole red highlighted, kind of dark pink red highlighted area is the old town itself. Okay, and then the rest of the city you've got around this side, which is wonderful. There's no terminal here, okay, but you do have the information kiosk if you need it. Everything is within distance for you to access if you need to. So the port is very centrally located close to the city centre itself. There are some taxis available outside if you didn't want to walk in, but we are very, very close, or if you weren't able to, then there are options for you to use transport as well. It's not like transportation in many of the countries around the world. You'll find these smaller places, it's not going to be as often as maybe you'd maybe like, but there is options there for you as well. The majority of the shops, the museums, they're all within distance of the cruise port itself. And they sometimes offer, and I say sometimes because it's not through us, I would have to check with Shore Excursions if they've got a tour going, but there is sometimes a hop-on, hop-off style tour bus that does come to the port when cruise ships are in. Now, I don't work for Hop-on, Hop-off, it is its own kind of private entity, it's a private company, but sometimes they offer a Hop-on, Hop-off style service when cruise ships are docked. If you stay on, it's about a 45-minute tour, and you can purchase the tickets on the bus itself. Mobile vouchers, if you did pre-book your vouchers, they have to be redeemed at bus stop number 1, which is the Strandkaien cruise terminal pier. So that's great anyway. And other vouchers, you can kind of redeem them at any of the other stops on the hop-on, hop-off route. So if we talk a little bit about Stavanger. So it earned its status as the epicenter of black gold, okay? So it was a shipbuilding and fish canning town, fueled its wealth by one of the top energy capitals. It's now home to some wonderful restaurants. You've got the cobblestoned old town streets, as well as the flatter main town, main city itself. So the old town I was talking about, which is right next to where the cruise is docked, it's got 173 white cottages. It's a very charming old town to have a look around. It's the largest and oldest wooden house settlement in the Nordic countries. So it's really fantastic to take your time to have a look around this. If you get lost in the cobblestone streets, you're going to find some smaller local art galleries, small boutique shops, that kind of thing. So it's really got a very kind of quaint feel about it. It's a very wonderful old town to have a look around. You've also got the Canning Museum, so if you want to learn a little bit more about the fish canning here, the Canning Museum is also located right there in the old town itself, right next to where the cruise ship is docked, and it tells you all about the production of canned sardines and fish balls.
Yeah.
But no, it's, you know, jokes aside, it is very interesting, and it's a huge part of the town and the town's history. Now, there's a lot of colourful streets. Once you start walking from the old town to the centre, the more modern centre itself, you've got some colourful streets, wooden houses, they've got those eye-popping greens and oranges and yellows, lovely restaurants and cafes, so a wonderful place to go and explore. This area itself, a lot of locals like to come to this area, not just tourists, and you can kind of see why. This would brighten anyone's day, I think. It's a wonderful place. Now the Stavanger Cathedral itself, it's about 6 minutes from the cruise port if you were going to walk over there. It's all of kind of 2-minute drive if you needed to. Okay, so this is the only active cathedral in Norway that dates back to the Middle Ages. So it was originally built in 1122, it's an Anglo-Norman style, and it was reconstructed in a Gothic style after, I suppose, a fire that did damage the area in 1272. So really quite a wonderful cathedral to have a look at. If you do have, I know there's a couple of people with smaller children on board and families, or maybe you just the inner child and you fancies going to the Geopark. So about 10 minutes from the cruise port, it was commissioned by the Norwegian Petroleum Museum. So it's the perfect place to just go have a little bit of fun. It was built and designed in collaboration with children, which I think is quite special. So if you are going to the Petroleum Museum, which I'll talk about in a moment, you might want to pop by the Geopark itself. Have a bounce around the balls. Maybe don't. I feel like you might all break your arm or something. Please. I'm going to take this slide out next time. Please don't go jumping on squishy balls. Maybe just have a look and take a photo. That's a lot safer. Now, the swords in the rock. This is a very imposing monument, and it commemorates the Battle of Harsfjord. This was in 872, and it took place right there in the fjord itself. Now, the 3 swords, they are firmly planted into the rock, standing about 20 meters high, and they represent the victorious King Harald Fairhair, who was the first king to rule over all of Norway. So this itself is about a 12-minute drive out of the city itself, but if you were going or wanting to book yourself a private tour and go slightly further out of town, this is one of the things I would maybe suggest you go and have a look at. But the city itself is wonderful to stay in and enjoy. So that Norwegian Petroleum Museum I was talking about, it's just around the coastline from where we're docked. It's in the main area itself. So you do not have to be a die-hard scientist to really enjoy the Petroleum Museum. It's got this slab-like building here, which is very, very impressive, and it evokes itself to look like an oil platform. And there's many documentary films inside, there's photographs, there's interactive installments. It tells you about the discovery of black gold in the North Sea. It goes into oil production. It goes into modern day energy use. So it really is quite a fascinating museum to check out, especially to give you more of an idea of the way of life in Norway and what they rely on in this region. It's a very, very interesting place. I would highly recommend going to the Petroleum Museum if you can. Now, like many cities in Norway, everyone's like, "Ooh, take a picture." If I don't make it, I can pretend I was there. I'll show you a better one in a minute. So it's just a very short distance, Stavanger, from some staggering natural beauty. And this is the Lysa Fjord itself. So it has vertical walls that reach up to 1,000 meters high. Has anyone heard of Preikestolen or Pulpit Rock? Yeah, a couple of you. So if you wanted to, plan your day, make sure you got your times, you planned your day right, but if you wanted to, you can take the famous Preikestolen hike. So it is about a 40-minute ride by car or ferry to the trailhead, okay? That is why I always do say, if you're going to attempt this hike, and it is doable, I've done it, I'll show you a photo in a minute, I just want you to be aware of booking your times right. There is a bus that leaves from the local hotel to Preikestolen, to the trailhead. I think it leaves at 11 o'clock, and then there's one that leaves at 12 o'clock. So you'd have to go online and book yourself the transfer bus if you wanted, or maybe go online, book yourself a private taxi that you know is going to pick you up at that time and take you, because it will take you about 35 minutes to 40 minutes to get to the trailhead at the beginning, okay? Now, if you do take this hike, don't disturb the stones. If you see the stones, you can make your own if you wish, but don't disturb the ones that are there. These are trail markers, and there's a huge history behind the stone stacking trail markers here. Some of them you'll see with an actual red T on them, so they have actually been put there as trail markers for hikers themselves. So enjoy them, take wonderful photos of them, and think about the countless steps all the guides have taken to do these trail markers along. So this is a photo of me at Pulpit Rock. I made it. that was about as close as I got to the edge, I think. I didn't really want to get much closer. So this is then the end of the hike. If you did go to Pulpit Rock, this is the aim. So it is that exact same rock cliff face here. There's no barriers, there's no nothing around there. So if you're going up there, when I went up there, it was fantastic. And then about 2 minutes after this photo, a ginormous storm came over. And right in the back of the fjords, there was fork lightning. It was spectacular. Maybe a bit dangerous, who knows? No, it was fine. It was wonderful. There was a ton of us there. So the Pulpit Rock hike, once you get to Preikestolen trailhead, you're looking around 2 hours each way. You're looking around 2 hours up, 2 hours down. So this is why if you're going to attempt it, great. It is, I mean, spectacular, is it not? It's fantastic. But if you're going to attempt it, make sure you know exactly how you're getting there and how you're getting back. Make sure you've pre-booked how you're getting there and how you're getting back. Make sure you've given yourself at least 2 hours to get up, enough time to enjoy it, and 2 hours to get down. Okay, so it's just one of those things, it's doable, we've done it, proof. But you just need to be a bit organised with your time. At the moment, weather is saying cloudy, some light rain is likely, so it means we don't know, I suppose, until we get there. Highs of 17 degrees Celsius or 63 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, as we arrive, I'll always give you the most updated weather forecast that I can. To be fair though, I think yesterday, I got the weather forecast from me and the captain, and then I said it, and I said, oh, it will be on and off rain, mostly this afternoon, and then I walked off the gangway and I was like, just kidding, it's raining right now. Wonderful. I would hate to be a weatherman, or a weather woman, or a weather person. How many times do I go, they said it would be this, and it wasn't. And then all aboard is 10:30 in the evening. It's a wonderfully... Did no one know?
No.
You're welcome. I think then I get to be the bearer of good news for once. Yes, all aboard 10:30 p.m. So if you do go out slightly further and enjoy, come back, enjoy the old town, enjoy the restaurants, enjoy the museums. There's plenty of time. You are in absolutely no rush. So if you are going to do Pulpit Rock, please don't leave it till the evening. I mean, do it earlier if you're going to do it. But know that you've got a nice amount of time before all aboard. So hopefully if you were planning to do it, I haven't squished your dreams too much. I've given you another lifeline here, 10:30 all aboard, which is fantastic. And enjoy Stavanger itself, it's absolutely wonderful.